What's up, everybody? Welcome to season 5, episode 5 of the No Sauce podcast. See, I got that one right. F you guys doubt me always on these introductions.
So proud of you.
Yes,
I got it right
proud of you.
first time. Yeah. So let's go. Welcome to this new episode of No Sauce podcast. Danny, John, and Kyle, or Kyle, John, and Danny. We'll say Kyle, John, and Danny because Danny is the third wheel with us lately. So we'll go with that.
There you go.
How's that feel being the third wheel?
It's a different territory for me, but I'll take it. It's fine. I can adapt. It's fine.
There you go.
It is. So we were just talking offline about how I'm fat and how John doesn't invite me to go to the gym anymore because I always bailed on him, which I did. I'll own that. And my excuse is I hate driving to Saratoga Springs to go to Vasa Fitness. And the good news is John actually agreed that he hates driving to
it's the worst.
Springs. And we were telling Danny, from where I live back in City Center, it's anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes to get to Vasa Fitness, depending on the day and the time and so forth. But the bigger issue is, Danny, is that this Vasa Fitness, if you don't get there at like certain times, and it's probably the same everywhere, and now I feel like it's every hour. It doesn't matter when you get there. You have to wait in line to use things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's crazy busy.
No. I mean, going to the gym is fairly its own chore anyways that I don't do, but I can't imagine. But yeah, no, around here, it's a little bit different. I mean, obviously with our softball schedules and whatnot, with our shift work schedules, things kind of flow, I guess, a little bit differently. Like I would imagine, because you're in a 9 to 5 kind of community, weekends off kind of a deal that a lot of times here, I mean, the dudes are working through it. So, Wednesday, Thursday may be the day that they're able to go to the gym. So it's able to pace it out in a different kind of way. Like, we can never do the Wednesday night softball thing because it rotates so much. But yeah, it's kind of different and a lot farther. Like you said, it's like 7 or 8 miles to get, takes you 45 minutes.
Sometimes that would in the traffic. Yeah.
Yeah, that would get me to Battle Mountain. That's 15 miles away.
You've been out where I am.
Right. Yes. In different ways.
On work days, actually now, John, it's every day there's so much traffic. It doesn't matter what time or where you're at. There is so much traffic out here.
The way you took us out last time was a disaster.
Well, like I think I shared this
when
before.
We went south. Like you went through that, and John was clowning on you. John was like, "Why'd you go that way?" And like he went a completely different way and beat us to where we were going.
I went the back way, that I like taking because it's not as much traffic going that way.
Didn't help that the road was being completely reconstructed. Also,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, awful! I think we ended up on Pioneer Crossing, and we got stuck because it was backed up because they're doing that stupid flex lane thing. Like it's just
yeah.
Well, I mean, and depending on time of day, like normally towards the end of the day, it's like, oh, my day's winding down. I have meetings. I'm gonna go run a couple errands, like run to the UPS store or run to Costco. If it is 2:30, I'm like, nope, it's too late. It's too late because by the time I get there, I do my shopping. Even if I'm in there for like 5 minutes and I come out, it's past 3:00. And I know it's going to take me at least a half an hour to get home, or I've got to drive like completely the wrong direction to get ahead of some of the traffic, which the timing, it just kind of cancels itself out. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Big city problems, fellas.
Big city problem, I guess.
It's bad. I would love, with all the construction stuff they're doing, all the commercial, I hope that they plan on putting something out here. Because I would love to. I liked going to the gym, but I don't want to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. anymore.
They haven't Anytime Fitness that's coming back here in City Center,
and that, I mean, it's
24
inconvenient.
24
it literally
is. It's inconvenient for you. Yeah,
it's the same length of drive for me because I'm right in the middle.
Yeah,
like it's.
City Center. That's new. You didn't call it that when you said where you lived before.
I live in City Center. That's what Eagle Mountain City Center. John
Eagle
lives
Mountain. Eagle Mountain. That's what I. Yeah, you're like you live in. Eagle
Well, the
It's
city is Eagle
all
Mountain, and
Eagle
it's
Mountain.
divided into two sections. There's where Kyle lives at City Center because that's where like
the city offices are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I live in what's called the ranches, where it was, the ranches was all this, kind of development with a golf course, and it
Sure.
tried to have this kind of ranchy type feel, and out in the prairies, and
Until they developed it.
but it's all part of the same city. Like it's ginormous.
It's a big city.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, the area for the city is huge. Yeah, and it's just going to get bigger. There's
Oh,
Amy. What's he calling for? Doesn't he know we're recording?
Answer it real quick, and he can be on a podcast. He can be on part of the
Would
podcast.
you like to be on the podcast? Okay, well, you're on it. So if you want me to call you back, I'll call you back when I'm done.
Hey, shout out everybody to Damien. He's a loser. Hang up on him.
I'm so mad at him that he's moving. He's moving back to Elko. I get why. I'm still mad at him though. Like it's sad. It makes me sad.
Yeah, that phone call is gonna be interesting. So yeah, love you, Dame. That's all I gotta say there. Yeah, absolutely. Glad he's coming back, obviously, over here, for whatever reason, good Salt Lake connection, but brother coming home.
Yeah.
He's coming home.
Yeah, I'll miss him. But I mean, it gives me.
We ain't going nowhere.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like it's more of a reason to go out to Elko now that we're not having gone out there for any softball stuff too. So.
Yes, I mean we're gonna have to meet because there's nothing going on in Elko because I don't run shit anymore. So
this is true. This is
true.
true.
That's why we meet other places. So yeah.
So I don't think John's ever met Shawn. I don't know if this is going to go over well. How he's going to handle this. You haven't met our buddy Shawn, have you, John? No. Oh no, he was on the podcast.
Shawn.
Shawn.
Who's Shawn?
We were talking. We were giving him crap for the co-ed baby shower.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's right.
His wife Kennedie gave birth to a baby girl today.
Yes. Yeah. Like at, I mean, I think I got the text message at like 4:00, I believe.
Oh, so he texted you personally before he texted our group message.
Absolutely, as he should.
Probably.
No, I actually texted him this morning to see how she was doing because let's be honest, I don't give a shit how he's doing. It's how she's doing, right? Like, how's Kennedy doing? She got induced. I think they went in like 6 a.m. So that's probably means they bumped the drugs in at 8 or 9 or whatever. And
see, I got the message. We got the message in the group at 7:43 p.m. tonight Mountain Time. So 6:40.
Well, there you go. Well, there you go. Yeah, and that's about when it came across. Yes.
What did they name her? He never told us the name.
I'm glad you said that because Tessa asked me, and I'm like, shit, I should probably know that. So,
baby,
I'm sorry if you guys told me that, and you could even convince me that you told me, and I forgot probably, but I hope you didn't. So, yeah, love you, baby, Sandoval.
Yeah. Good job, Kennedy. You're the hero. You're the
absolute hero of the day because I mean, let's be honest, Shawn didn't do nothing.
Listen. You gotta throw a plug out there for all dads that sit in the hospital and get completely overlooked the whole entire time.
Can we see that?
I don't think he got overlooked. He was just sitting there eating Cheetos and getting the stink eye from Kennedy telling him to stay away.
I remember when I had my kids, they were like bringing in all this stuff, obviously for my wife, taking care of her. I get that. But like, I'm the dad who's like been here sleeping on whatever, who knows what. And they're like getting her meal and like, okay, what do you want to eat? Da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, can I take a look at the menu? And they're like, oh, you're going to have to go down to the cafeteria. And I was like, are you for real? Like, I don't think this is like concierge, service or anything like that, like DoorDash, but like.
Can I get a steak? Can I get a steak in here? What am I doing? Like, what about me?
And they're like, well, you do get one meal with your wife. And I was like, oh, thanks so much.
Nice.
And they're like, when would you like that? And I was like, I don't know. You tell me when I get to have it.
Well, so
how many hours?
Mad at me. Okay. So when she was giving birth to Coop, It was at the Jordan Valley Hospital here in West Jordan, and the room that they put her in had a couch that folded down into a bed, right?
Yeah.
And she was so mad at me because 6 months earlier, when I was getting my appendix ruptured and got taken out, she stayed with me, because I had to stay in the hospital for like a week because of, where it was at. She, in the room that we had, it didn't have a folding bed. So she had to sit in a recliner chair and sleep in that. And she was so mad that I got a bed, in her pain, but she didn't get a bed in my pain. She was so mad. So
Women hold on to that stuff. Women hold on to
Yeah.
that stuff. You ask a dude about it, and you're like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, we didn't have that then."
Yeah. I remember like mine, it was an armchair, but it did lay all the way down, but it was super uncomfortable and like right where my hip was, it was like there was I don't know, like a hinge or something. Like, it was super uncomfortable. And then like I remember after the child was born, they're like, "Okay, now you need to get some rest." And I was starting to pack up my stuff to go home. And my wife's like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "I'm gonna go check on the house and take a shower." She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "You're gonna fall asleep. Let me just go." And yeah, I went and I took a shower and I took a nap and it was great. Came back rejuvenated. But yeah, those are good
yeah, good
times.
time.
Those are
So my second child, it's yeah, she was something else. So Tess kind of went into premature labor early in the morning, and I had a baseball doubleheader because I had children in high school, right? So it was a senior Babe Ruth game. I had a doubleheader at Doc Stewart Field there in Roseburg, and Tess went into premature labor in the morning, and the doctor was like, "No, you're good," and actually told her to go to the mall and just like walk around. And her and my mom went and walked around the mall, whatever. So I go up and I start the doubleheader, and I want to say it was like a 1:30 first pitch, right? So then we get up there, and I started pitching, and this was like early cell phone days too. Like my coach had a because he was the one that sponsored the team. He had a cell phone, a brick cell phone that he put in his pocket, and Tess was kind of whatever. And there's not a lot of instant communication back in
yeah.
1999, right?
I can see you
So,
looking at the phone. She's
The
calling. You're
Nokia,
like,
the
"Oh,
good old
oh,
I only have 20 minutes left. This better be good."
absolutely. So yeah, that, right? I didn't even
Yeah.
have that. I was probably at a minute. So yeah, my coach Tom Donegan was the coach, and he was like, "Hey, I got it in my pocket," and I started pitching, and I threw two and a thirds. I was at two and a third inning, and his phone rang, and he answered it, and he kind of looked out at me. Next pitch, guy grounds out, and I strike out the next batter, and I literally walked off the field. His wife took me to the hospital, which was 2.5 miles away, whatever. And I walked into the hospital in my cleats. So imagine walking across hospital floor in spikes, dude. First of all, you're trying not to
Click,
fall on
clack,
your
click.
ass, right?
Yep.
Like if you were watching spikes on like some slick tile, it's not a good situation. So I'm tiptoeing and trying to hurry up at the same time, right? And actually
Sparks
made
are
it.
flying off your cleats.
Yeah, dude, facts, and made it there. And like 45 minutes later, Buffy was born, and kind of gave my wife a hug. They took the baby to the deal, and I headed back to the ball field, man, for game 2 of the doubleheader. I didn't play. But what was I supposed to do at the hospital? She was sleeping. The baby was sleeping.
Oh my
Ah,
gosh.
I
I
got.
remember with my
I
first
really thought
kid.
I could get back in the game, but he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Well, I
The
was sitting
coach,
at the
I
the
hospital."
coach made the right call.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He did.
I
So,
remember sitting there in the hospital and it was like, I don't know, 1 or 2 in the morning. And I'm like, well, we're having our baby. I had like knew I was gonna have a midterm during the semester at some point, and I told my teacher, I was like, my wife's pregnant, we may go into labor, FYI. So I
She
messaged
may go
her.
into labor, not we may go into labor.
I
and how old are
messaged
you?
my
How
teacher.
old were you?
I don't remember. This was 14 years
25.
ago. So
I mean, he did
26.
just turn 14, so yeah.
26, yeah.
Okay.
So I remember emailing this teacher saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be in the hospital with my wife. We're literally here doing the deal." And it's like 2 in the morning. I check my email at about 11 or 12 o'clock, and she's like, "Yeah, like I can make accommodations for you to take it at the testing center, but it needs to be done this Friday." And I like messaged her back again. And I was like, "Listen, like I'm gonna be bringing my kid home on Friday." I was like, "Is there anything else I can do?" And she has like she has Indian heritage. Like she's from India, and like very much like the mentality of like get back to work. Like if you're pregnant, have a baby, great, get back to work. And I remember being so pissed off. I was like, no, I'm not going to be inconvenienced bringing my kid home. Today, my wife's going to be resting. The baby's going to be doing it. Like, fine. I went to school, took the midterm, and finished it in like 7 minutes or something like that. Turned it back in, and she's like, "What's this? You need to leave?" And I was like, "No, I'm already done. Here you go." And threw it at her all like pissed off. Come back in the next week, and like she pulled me aside after class. She was like, I'm sorry, I know it's not normal, but thank you for doing that. By the way, I wanted to show you your score, and I did really well. But man, I remember being so frustrated that like I couldn't be there the whole time with my wife and kid, and because I had to go take a stupid test.
Sounds like a personal problem.
It
How many
was a
kids?
personal problem.
Do you have 1 or 2 kids, John?
I have
That's 4.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh yeah.
Yep.
So you're a professional at this point.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, you were
muy
reading books, doing
excelente.
crossword puzzles at the last one, right?
Dude, the third and fourth, I took Cheez-Its and cookie like Oreos and stuff. Like I had everything.
Making sandwiches and shit. Anybody
Hmm
need
Had a
sandwiches? Oh.
panini grill over here. I had the air fryer. I had a blender with ice making margaritas. Like
Shit.
I just remember being so like frustrated that first like kid or two, and they're like the whole of like the food and the sleeping accommodations. Like they wanted nothing to do to help me at all, and I get that. But like when my wife's situated in the bed, there's nothing that they're doing. I'm asking questions. Like they're rolling their eyes at me, and I was like, fine. So when it came time for the birth, they'd be like, "Oh, do you want to help hold the leg?" And I was like, "Nope, nope. You guys, I'm paying for this. I'm not doing any of the work. You can hold my wife's legs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
stay
held the
up.
leg to get him there. I mean, that's how
I'm
that happened, right?
I'm gonna stay on this side of the sheet, up
Yes.
by my wife's head. I
Yes.
don't want anything to do with what's down there.
Yep.
You guys got
Absolutely.
that."
So are you
So
done? Are you done having kids? Do you know?
I would assume so.
Oh,
It's my youngest is 8. Just turned 8, and so
nice.
I think we're done.
Yeah, as soon as I hit my boy, my third kid at 20 years old or 19, I was like, "Yep, we're done.
I
Got the
I
boy, we're
am
out."
I am contemplating going in and getting the old snippety snip, and the problem with my like work and stuff, like the end of like quarters is big. Like so a lot of people are like, "Oh, do the whole March Madness thing," like where basically you get the surgery and then like you sit for like 4 or 5 days and just watch a bunch of basketball. And I'm like, I don't know that I want to do that because that's right around my anniversary time, and it's the end of quarter. I got to be on the phone, like trying to bring in business, whatnot. So another person suggested Masters weekend. So like Friday, you get out of work early. Thursday, get the surgery, and then the rest of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're watching golf. So that may be the plan this year if I can schedule it that way. Don't roll your eyes at me, Kyle.
I'm rolling them, and I'll roll them again too. How did you even notice that? Are you looking at the? Why don't you ever look at the camera when you talk?
Because I've got you guys over here. My camera's here. Relax.
You can hear us. Why not
Yeah.
do that and look at the camera? I mean, I look over here sometimes too, but like,
Yeah, no,
when
Kyle,
you're
this is you.
talking,
This is you
look at the camera,
constantly.
tool bag.
Oh, uh-huh. Yeah, good story, Danny. Uh-huh.
I know.
Yep, that's right.
I was getting the
Well,
name.
hey guys, did you hear about whack hoops and this and that and da, 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 da,
Hey,
da?
I had a good live stream tonight. Danny was even
So,
locked
hey,
into it.
pronounce that name.
What?
Kyle.
Aranza?
Pronounce Sean's child's name.
Aranza. The whites don't get it. Okay, yeah. It's Basque. What is that?
Basque.
Is that
Basque.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like it's from a region. Was it south of France, like in between
It's
France and Spain?
yes.
Aranza
Yes.
Michelle Sandoval is what the baby's
Correct.
name is.
And like Sean put the correct Basque spelling. There's
Hey.
also a lot of Basque heritage that ties into some Native American heritage. My cousin up in Southern Oregon, he could. I'm not even going to pretend to talk about it, but yeah, there's a lot of the peaceful heritage with the Basques and the Native Americans, and they have a big showing out here in Elko. That's how Elko was founded, right? So
In the Idaho area too, there's a lot.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. If you ever come to Elko, I mean, the first place we're going to take you is the Star. So you better be hungry. It's a good place to eat. Basque food. They don't mess around. I mean, it's pre-meal, meal, post-meal, appetizers. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. Speaking of food, have you guys ever heard of picanha?
No.
Picanha? No.
Okay. So I've been on the socials. There's a guy, it's like Guga Foods or something like that. He's this Brazilian guy who cooks steak. Like that's what he's known for. Like does all these weird, crazy experiments on steak. Dry aging them in just straight butter, like a whole tub of butter or ketchup or any number of things, right? He's started talking about this steak cut called a picanha. Like if you go to Tucanos, have you ever seen like the meat that looks U-shaped that they have on the skewer?
Sure.
Okay, it's a top sirloin cap, so it's got like a fatty layer on top, but good marbling underneath of it. Anyways, he's been talking about this, and I'm like, man, I got to go to like a meat place to get this. No, Costco started stocking it, so I bought it over the weekend, and we had it for EJ's birthday the other night. Can I just tell you, amazing. And I think it was like $6.99, $7.99 a pound. Straight amazing. It kind of looks like a triangle, like the cut, and then we just sliced it into like 1.5 inch thick steaks, cooked it up. You gotta try it, Kyle.
What's it called
Delicious.
again?
Picanha.
Picanha. Yeah.
It's a good thing this is family friendly. I'm sure he would have said something different when he was describing how good it tasted.
Best meat you could ever put in your mouth.
Oh, there it is. That's the family friendly version of saying
it is. It is.
Yes.
Wow.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. So John, yeah, I went on my rant on Whack Hoops Nate straight out of Whack After Hours tonight. I know you didn't see it because you don't care. You just take me for free rides to the Whack.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I always take you out for a nice seafood dinner.
You a hard time.
I do call you again.
I know. You do.
Big biatch. I swear. Yeah, no, I mean,
what was it? Was it 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago that you came with me, that we went down together, or was it 3 years ago? It was one of the
might have been.
Where you came down and you went to like the first day of games, and then the next two you decided to take off by yourself to go to Disneyland.
Dude, it was fun. Well, it wasn't as fun as it could have been because I was working in the mornings until like 1 or 2 o'clock, and then I drove. I stayed probably 20 minutes outside of Anaheim, so I had to kind of drive in. But yeah, dude, that was fun. But we were texting about it tonight when Southern Utah came back and beat UVU.
Oh.
I was driving. I had worked in the morning, and about noon I had to get out of my hotel room.
That's right. You met us after the game or something to go out to eat. Yeah,
dude, I legit drove all the way to drove to Disneyland, sat in the parking lot there, worked for like another hour, then went in and like messed around in the in the park until like 10 o'clock. Jumped in my car, drove back to Vegas. I never remember like half the trip. Like I remember just like while I'm driving, the first little bit I was watching the game, and it was great up until the end. And then it was just like the wheels fell off for UVU. I was so pissed. But then
Danny,
after that, I legit don't remember the rest of the drive.
yeah,
Like I just showed up at the hotel and I was like, holy cow,
yeah.
I'm here.
So Danny,
Never doing that again.
I'm gonna break this down what we're talking about here. So
Yeah, because I got no idea what you're talking about.
so this news about UVU today in this lawsuit that you heard me talking about on that show, right? So I don't know what I've been shaking like a lot of the times when people are texting me like asking questions or trying to tell me things about this lawsuit. Like, is this really happening? I went on a radio broadcast today, and I was shaking as I was talking to the guy because it's like I'm like, what is happening? Anyways, so I text John earlier. We went to it was the WAC tournament 2023, right? WAC semifinals. Utah Valley playing Southern Utah. Okay,
That's
right?
what you were talking about in the group text today, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Utah Valley just is in complete control. Like at the under 16 media timeout, I think it was like with 15 minutes and like 55 seconds left to go in the game. Media timeout. Utah Valley's up by 23. Like they're just it's over, right? Like you would think, most people would think, but I was sitting on press row and I could hear into the Southern Utah huddle at that timeout, and they're like, "This isn't over. We're not done. Let's go. Let's get this." And I'm sitting there and talking to the people next to me. John wasn't there, like you said, he was driving back from Disneyland, and I told the people, I was like, "This isn't over. I mean, I think Utah Valley's still going to win, but this isn't over. Like, this is going to end up closer than 23 points, right?" And you watch this last 15 and a half minutes unfold, and it's just Utah Valley can't break the press, and there's missed free throws, and Southern Utah's all of a sudden get to the bucket easier. And there was one where the Southern Utah guard just 2 dribbles, 2-handed dunk, right? And and you're just like, what is going on here? Like, this is crazy. And everybody's looking around like, what are we watching?
It's bad.
About 6 seconds left. Utah Valley misses, I think it was a front end that would have put him up 4 or 5. It would have put him up 5. No, it would have put him up 4, right?
4.
But they're up 3. Southern Utah brings the ball up. They don't foul the guy bringing the ball up to put him at the free throw line, right? They wait until this guy who could have been a WAC player of the year, winner if the Southern Utah would have finished higher. But they bring this guy off a screen around to the right side of the 3-point line. He goes up, drains it, and the Utah Valley guy hit him on the side.
Yep.
3-pointer, good. Now he gets the free throw to give Southern Utah a 1-point lead. Like 5 seconds left. Southern Utah fans are going crazy. Everybody else is like, what in the world just happened? Like, what is going on? I'm shaking because it's like, is this for real? Because this was Utah Valley's team. They would have won maybe 2 games in the NCAA tournament. That's how good they were. Right?
Where was this game at? It was at UVU?
At Orleans Arena in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because that was the same year we got invited to whatever that the other tournament is. Why am I drawing a blank? And we ended up playing Cincinnati at home.
NIT?
Right? NIT, yeah.
So anyway, so this dude hits the 4-point play. Well, Utah Valley gets a chance, right? They call timeout, they get the ball in, scramble, to get possession, and then their guard tips it to another one of their guards streaking down the right side of the floor. Like, he had it. It would have won the game. Like, he had an open layup because Southern Utah was celebrating. They thought the game was over. He can't get full control of it in his hand, and it rolls off the back of the rim. Like, he even said it to people after the game. He's like, I had it. It didn't stick like I needed it to. And, anyways, like, that's what we were talking about. Like, after that game,
that's rough.
We went out I went out with the guy that was sitting next to me, our buddy Bill, and these 2 girls that ran a podcast for one of the other teams in the WAC. And we went and got something to eat, and I just couldn't eat. I was like, what did I just witness? Like, what? Like, I'm shaking right now talking about it because it's so crazy. But yeah, that year they went to the NIT and they They smoked New Mexico to open up the NIT. Then they smoked Colorado in Colorado. Then they smoked Cincinnati in Orem because they got the host.
I don't think we smoked them. Like it was a good back and forth. It was very physical, very physical game.
Utah Valley led the entire game. Cincinnati got it close a couple times, but ultimately Utah Valley, just won at home. And then in the NIT Final Four, they had to go back to the Orleans Arena, and they played a game less than 24 hours after it was already announced that Mark Madsen was taken off to Cal. So they weren't ready to start the game because their minds were gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they finally started playing, and they had a shot to hit a 3 at the buzzer to win it, and it just hit front iron, and that ended that amazing. They had 28 wins that year.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, 28 wins. And they should have been in the NCAA tournament, but they blew a 23-point lead in 15 minutes.
Then maybe they shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
No, that's rough. That's rough.
So, yeah, it's
still that was the same trip where we went down early and watched the Gonzaga the game, right? And then we went out for that out to that Mexican restaurant with those two,
with Braden and Spencer, with the two broadcasters. Yep, that was a good time. We had some fun on those trips. We had a lot of fun on those Vegas trips. We played the last time you came with when we played golf on Championship Saturday in the rain, and we almost got the cart stuck. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. That was fun. And where Kyle quit before the 18.
I played all 18.
Quitter.
No, the guy that we went with, he stopped.
Like 10 holes and he was done. He was like, guys, I'm going to head back. And we're like,
you showed me the video, right? When we were down in Mesquite, you showed me the video of you getting stuck.
Where he was slipping and sliding on the cart.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Like we hit the brakes and it was just planing. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, fill me in on the news. This whole $1 million lawsuit. Obviously, UVU's leaving the WAC and joining the Big West. What else?
Yeah, so there's an exit fee according to the bylaw, the WAC bylaws, that you have to pay if you're leaving the WAC, right? And apparently, as Danny knows from my rant tonight on the Straight Outta WAC After Hours, that UVU, after they announced that they were leaving the WAC back in June, they said they were also not going to pay the exit fee. And the WAC has been telling them, you have to pay that exit fee. You have to pay that exit fee. You have to pay that exit fee. And I don't know if the WAC gave them, time up until the end of 2025. I've been told they have, but but the WAC came out today. Well, it was released. A reporter released it that the WAC has filed a lawsuit against Utah Valley, claiming that it, violated the bylaws and is not a member in good standing in the conference. And one of the consequences of that is that they cannot compete in conference championships, NCAA championships, or have their games broadcast on anything tied to the conference. So as of right now, because that fee has not been paid, they cannot compete at the WAC tournament in a little over a month. Baseball won't be able to compete at the WAC tournament. Women's basketball won't be able to compete at the WAC tournament. The indoor track and field team has their WAC championships on the 27th and 28th. They will not be able to compete as of right now. And UVU, I guess President Tuminez is standing strong on her position that they're not going to pay that exit fee because I don't know why. There's some kind of distribution revenue that they were supposed to get that they didn't get, or that the WAC is withholding, I guess. And so that's where they're hanging on to their side of things. So,
a new question I have for you that just popped into my mind, Kyle. Like, so you said it's that no NCAA bid, they can't get that. Like, even if they don't get the WAC bid, like for baseball, for instance, could they make a regional tournament on their record alone? No.
According to the bylaws, they wouldn't be able to represent the WAC at the NCAA tournament. Yeah, WOW is right.
Wow. So Why is and it's Tuminez, isn't it?
Whatever. Tuminez.
But isn't she? I thought she was leaving.
She is in May.
Burn it down on your way out.
President of the university as of right now. So she is in the say. So
yeah.
Me and Danny were talking about this, that what they should do is they should pay it and then like countersue to get whatever distribution is that they think they are owed, and just to clear
the value that they had brought to the
just to clear this bylaw situation that's going to keep, if they hold on to it, is going to keep their teams from competing for conference championships, right?
Like, it's about the now, right? Like for those kids, like Kyle was saying on his other podcast, and I agree wholeheartedly. Like it's all about the kids are the ones that are going to get screwed, right? Like the university, whoever's going to make what money, where, what conference, that's all. Yeah, that's all fine. We can handle that in the background, but why not as a university? Like if you're really about your kids, and if you stand up for what I'm assuming you say you stand up for, why wouldn't you just say, man, I'll just drop the $1 million. Here you go. I'm going to sue you for $1.5 million plus punitive damages, whatever on the back end. But so the kids can go play.
Yep.
I mean, like at the end of the day, that's what it should be about your student athletes. So you're going to get caught up in some bureaucratic bullshit over your conference realignment for whatever reason that is. And that's sad for the kids and for the university. I feel like that's a black eye in the university for, even if she is burning it down on the way out, whatever, but she still represents the university right now, and that's a bad look.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is it's not the university that's going to hurt; it's the kids that get hurt the most.
Mm-hmm.
Place where they're in a spot where they don't have any say in this decision, right? And they have nothing to do with this decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst part about it. You're hitting the kid. Like if you want to say there's a fine that you have to pay, or you have to add on an extra $500,000 to this fine, or to this exit fee, that's where it should be. It shouldn't be punishing all these student athletes because, like you said, of the bureaucratic stuff that's going on that they have no control over. That's what bothers me.
Yeah.
Is like you're taking it out on the kids and punishing them for something that's going on indoors that they don't even have access to.
And nothing to do with. And especially nowadays with the NIL, like that's just $1 million off the NIL table, dude. Like that's not like hard coin to come up with.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? At large universities, it's not a large, obviously, but they've got money, right? So they could make that happen.
Maybe now that it's out of the bag that this lawsuit is in place, and there's a lot of people that had eyes on that on social media today and have commented on it, and a lot of people are on the bandwagon of like, why don't you just pay it? Just pay it. Then you don't have this, because everybody's on the thing like, if you drag this on and your team doesn't get to compete in the conference tournament when it's arguably the best chance you've had since becoming, since joining the WAC back in 2013-14, of winning your first WAC tournament and going to the NCAA tournament for the first time. If you stay on this and they're not able to compete, that's on you. And like you said, it'll leave a huge black eye on the university. And I think personally, it'll cause them more harm and more money if they don't resolve this for their teams to compete than it will for them to just pay to suck it up, pay the $1 million and let their kids play. I think there'll be more lawsuits, and there'll be more things coming at the university from parents and of the student athletes and the student athletes themselves, because this could cost some of these guys, especially on the men's side, NIL money to go somewhere else, because that's where they earn it, is on the big stage, how they compete at this tournament. I think that could happen if they don't get this resolved and this team isn't able to compete at the WAC tournament.
Yeah, and here's a different angle too, dude. If you're a donor, if you're one of those guys that's forking out that NIL money, man, and you've forked out whatever those numbers are. I don't know what they are at UVU, but there's a lot of money going around there, right? And in all universities, all college sports, right? So,
I mean, it's not
somebody,
like in the millions, but yeah, there's
whatever,
UVU at
right?
least.
But so there's money going around. So we're talking about a $1 million fine. Was that the number that it was? $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million. Yep.
I mean, Kyle, tell me, how much does UVU pay out in NIL in a year?
For their basketball team?
No,
Or just in
UVU.
general? Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like, I probably
more than $1 million. A lot more.
Yeah,
I bet
well,
it's around $1 million. To be honest with you, I don't. They don't have the big donors or the big, alumni base. So I would say it's about $1 million.
But what I'm saying is, if you
get to 500,000, so
if you've got donors that are putting money into the university, and you're just like the athletes that you're putting money into, now they're going to leave. That's a problem too. Are they going to trust you in the future? Is kind of where I was going with that.
yeah. So
I could see that.
The other thing that's crazy about this, sorry, John. There's another thing that's crazy about this too. So Tyler Hendricks is a guard on this UVU team. His brother Taylor played for the Jazz, just got traded to Memphis today. And his mom moved out here so she could watch both of them here in Utah. Now it's like, if you're Tyler Hendricks and his mom, you're like, what in the world's going on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know if you're going to be able to compete at the WAC tournament. Now your one son is, is traded to Memphis. It's like, what? Like, it's just, anyways, it's just more storylines that go along with this. It's crazy. Go ahead, John. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I was just going to say, it's easy for us to sit back and say, hey, donors are going to pony up money to take care of this, but a lot of them don't just do it for nothing. Like NIL, like it's businesses giving money to the university for kids to, like coming up, advertise their product, come be spokespeople or, whatever. Right. So to take that money and put it towards paying a fee, like the university's not going to. And Kyle, to your point, like, oh, why don't they just add like a fee to the exit fee, or a penalty? Like, what's keeping the university from not paying it right now? Because they don't want to. They feel like they were a big part of the success of the WAC and that they should get, I don't know.
Well,
what's the end game?
Danny will tell you that I brought this up a lot in that live stream. Like, why is UVU holding firm to its position?
Yes.
Not to pay. Like, there's something there that they're saying we have a reason not to pay this.
Well, I mean, are they looking at like Grand Canyon, or I mean, did those guys get fined when they decided to leave?
Yeah, everybody has an exit fee when you choose to leave the WAC.
Yeah.
So Grand Canyon had to pay one. Seattle U had to pay one. And the comment by the commissioner said, that UVU has benefited from these other teams leaving and those exit fees coming in, right? And like, people will say, well, why didn't Utah Tech and Southern Utah have to pay? Because they didn't have to pay, right? Well, there's a difference between what they did and what UVU did. So UVU and California Baptist both chose to leave the WAC. They chose to go to a different conference, right? And CBU paid, so they don't have to deal with any of this. But Southern Utah and Utah Tech stayed. And then when this change and this rebrand was going to happen to the United Athletic Conference, they wanted to go east with their teams. They didn't want to come back to Utah to play. So they basically said, Southern Utah, Utah Tech, you got to find a new home.
Yeah.
So the exit fee doesn't apply to them because they didn't choose to leave. They were basically forced to leave.
Yeah. And I get all that. And the university at some point, needs to man up and do the right thing, honor its contract. But there's part of me that could see them sitting there and saying, well, hey, these other guys left. The conference wasn't as strong after they left. So why should I have to be held to this $1 million when the conference isn't as strong without those other teams that have already left. So why should I be held to this at this
But
point?
that's a corporate decision, John. That's fucking the kids. Sorry, I mean,
First,
that's screwing the kids, right? That's a corporate
To me
decision.
though,
Yeah,
if it's in the bylaw that everybody agreed to, this is the thing. If
signed off on it.
everybody agreed on the bylaw that there's an exit fee, which UVU did, and I know they did because the AD I talked to him all the time said we have to have this in place because we don't want as many teams to leave because of conference realignment. We know teams are going to be leaving, so there's got to be something there, financial standpoint. And so I know that they did. They knew the rule and they broke it. So,
but my piece to that, Kyle, though, is that the conference has the obligation to maintain the conference integrity. So once teams start leaving, well, you no longer have as strong of a conference anymore. So what was the commissioner and them doing trying to backfill those other
that's
ones?
the thing. It doesn't that doesn't matter in this. That
It
has
should.
no, it doesn't, because I would say this: if the vote wasn't unanimous on these bylaws, it doesn't matter what was going on with other teams leaving and so forth, and if the WAC was trying to, add teams to solidify that has no bearing on this whatsoever. Because I know what you're saying. I get it, but that has no bearing when the schools know that if you choose to leave per the bylaws that every single one of these ADs and presidents voted on and agreed to, that there is an exit fee and you do not pay it, that there are consequences.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's at, right? Even though Utah Valley probably brings in more value than a Tarleton State or a Abilene Christian or Utah Tech or Southern Utah, right? They do. We know that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, because they've had more success. They've been in the WAC longer. But there was a bylaw in place. Now, again, it begs the question, even though they knew they had this exit fee and they said they weren't going to pay it, there's a reason that they're not paying it, and we'll never know until they come out and say, this is why we said we were not going to pay it. And until Utah Valley does that,
and that's what I'm offering is if I'm them, that's why I'm not paying it, because the conference, as part of the bylaws, as part of the contract, is they're supposed to provide me some value. And maybe that's what their thought is that, well, you didn't keep these other teams and you're not backfilling them. So where's my value of staying in this conference? So that, again, I'm not saying that's what it is, but I know that contracts are a two-way street. It's not just, oh, UVU's leaving, so they have to pay. It's also the conference has some obligation to make sure that every team that's in that conference has the same value.
But UVU's not the only team that had to pay an exit fee. That's
what I know. But like when the first team decides to leave, yeah, pay the exit fee. Second team, maybe even then. But at that point, I don't know. Again, I don't know the timeline of who all decided to leave when and where. But if UVU's sitting there like, hey, these other guys have left, there's probably a conversation with the conference to say, hey, GCU's leaving, CBU's leaving. Where is this conference at then? Like, we don't want to stick around and deal with this if you guys aren't going to find us good teams to help backfill. And so that may be why.
I think UVU is on the way out, period. I don't think it was even that. I think they, it went from 13 teams in 2021, 22, and 2022, 23 to 11 teams in 23, 24, and then 9 teams in last season to 7 this year. So I think UVU was looking like already beginning. So it wasn't like they were waiting for the WAC to do something. They were being proactive and looking to go elsewhere for the last 2-3 years. They just waited for the right time, which, along with California Baptist, was this past summer to go to the Big West, because both of them announced at about the same time. I don't know. It's such an interesting dynamic that, we get to one side from the WAC. We need to hear UVU's side, and that's what I hate about UVU is they're so quiet about this instead of like getting out in front of it and saying, hey, this is why we're standing strong, and this is why we're going to court to figure this all out. Now, do I agree that it should be happening? Again, I think the WAC should have waited to bring the lawsuit, until maybe after the school year was over to hash this out, or had some kind of like addendum in that contract that says the teams can play, but the school will be held accountable for whatever. Like, because that all this is they're hurting the kids. It doesn't matter what the reasoning is for either side. You're hurting the kids by saying they can't play because of the decisions of people that aren't playing the game, right? Like that's what's
it's the big dick move from the big guys in the conference. I mean, that's what it is. This is the pressure time because if they don't collect now, they're not going to. This is the recency bias, right? We're going to make it. They have a shot. Let's put the pressure on them now. All eyes are on them. Let's put the pressure on them to make the decision, and that might be, to John's point, why they're saying no. There's something else. Which back to you. What is that something else, right? But that's why they're putting the pressure on it right now, is because right now that's going to make it hurt because, you've been at this for what, since June, you said, is when they decided to bail, or May?
Yeah, June 4th or something.
Yeah, so they've obviously been at this for a long period of time, and now all of a sudden it's a big deal. It's a big deal right now because they're relevant and they're on the national stage, and now we can make headlines and we can put pressure on people. We can start squeezing.
Yeah. The timing is interesting. It really is, because like I the women's soccer team at UVU, the volleyball team, the men's soccer team, they all got to compete in their WAC tournaments, right? And
that was last year. Yeah, it was last year, dude. That was a different quarter, man. Now we got to worry about that's on our radar.
It's in the same fiscal year.
Like, I know
fall sports versus spring sports, yeah,
right. But like, to me, I think the WAC didn't enforce this for two reasons. One, I think they were giving UVU a chance to maybe pay that up before 2025 turned into 2026. Second off, basketball is a big thing. They see that UVU could possibly win the WAC tournament if they go, or if they're allowed to go, which could put them on the national stage and could negate any of this, right? Like, and so they had to lay the hammer down, like you said, a power thrust by the WAC to show, hey, these guys aren't,
What do the bylaws say? Like, does it say that it has to be paid before they leave the conference, or is it upon leaving the conference they have to have it paid?
They have to pay the exit fee when it's I believe when it's announced. And
they'll have a grace period that they have to pay it when they declare. If they don't
pay it, they are labeled as a member institution not in good standing in the conference, which comes with consequences such as not being able to compete in the conference championships, in the NCAA championships, and not having any games broadcast on networks that are connected to the conference, which means
money.
Their games on Thursday and Saturday may not be able to be broadcast on ESPN Plus because of that.
Yeah, because of the contracts with them.
And that hurts the opponents too.
Yeah. So it's just
well, it's not UVU's game, it's their opponent's game, so they'll still televise them.
Well, and the fail-safe too, Kyle. I mean, if UVU basketball wasn't worth a shit right now, like UVU baseball was pretty good. They had kind of a fallback there too, right? Like,
yep.
I mean, let's not talk about what happened last year. We're not talking about.
I can't remember who they beat in the regional.
I can't remember either. That was a long time ago. As long as football season.
I swear it was in. Wasn't that the Eugene regional too?
It could have been. It could have definitely been. Got swept.
Quack.
Yeah.
Quack.
No, no, it was no quacking at all. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, but in all reality, yeah, thanks for shooting myself in the face. I walked right into that. But at the end of the day, I mean, that would have been their last stand, right?
Yeah.
Because after that, they're out.
Well, I mean, the baseball team is probably going to be picked to win the WAC again this year. They're loaded. They got a bunch of guys back. So, but yeah, I mean, I really hope UVU and the WAC I'm not going to say UVU gets figured out or the WAC gets it figured. Both sides get it figured out so that these teams, these student athletes, don't get punished like that. That'll be the saddest ending to a conference saga that I've ever seen, especially for the kids.
The Pac-12 kind of just fell off a cliff. That was a pretty tragic ending to that conference.
They're coming back though.
Yeah.
And San Diego State, and
I've been trying.
State
I wish we would have had Boise State 20 years ago, and now all of a sudden they can come to the Pac-12. That's weird.
Hey, you're getting Gonzaga in the Pac-12 this
Well,
next year.
that's cool. I mean, hey, dude, I've always loved Gonzaga, dude. Up there in Spokane, man, you know, generally got a bunch of white dudes that shoot threes. I mean, historically back in the day, I mean, I always rooted for like Harvard and those teams in the NCAA tournament back in high school, just because Princeton had a bunch of sharpshooters back in the 90s. But yeah, love watching some Gonzaga basketball. Glad to have them in the conference that I'm no longer a part of.
So we need to talk about something here. Last week we talked about your getting searched at the airport. Saga. And that short, that reel in my account that I posted, got over 2,000 views. Like it was one of the most viewed reels that I've had. So maybe profiled as a trigger word or something for like the algorithms to pick up. And
maybe it's airport. I don't know.
I still don't get how you were like pulled across and, you know, profiled. I've never been searched like that before. I go through the thing and I look fine. Like, do you have,
first of all, do you have a real ID?
Yes, I do have a real ID.
I do not. So there's red flag number one.
Okay.
Loser.
So they actually gave me a big red like tag that's like not real ID compliant. I'm like, I felt almost, you know, like Auschwitz shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, where am I going on this plane? Don't send me to the bottom. Am I going down with the luggage? I don't know, but yeah, no, it was
scarlet letter sign across them that
almost. Yeah, absolutely. And like one airport, like going through one airport, it was just like, hey, you know, you need to get this. And I'm like, I understand, like didn't plan on flying to a Ducks game out of nowhere. I'll get it. And then on the way back, like I had this this lady, I won't describe her because it'll sound bad. That was sitting there, and she was like, "You know, you don't have a real ID." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got the red tag at the last airport." And she's like, "Yeah, you need to go over here and you need to get this." And just like chastising me, like, I understand. I mean, I'm on the way home. Like, I wasn't gonna get an ID while I was in a different state. I understand that. But yeah, no, the pulling me aside and profiling me, I think that was a random thing. I don't know, but maybe not. It was kind of interesting that they wanted to check for bombs in my slippers with little test strips when I tried to take off my shoes, and that wasn't acceptable. So
nice.
That was weird.
Well, I mean, on that note, John, have you ever, you know, gone to an amusement park and not been able to ride the ride because you're too small?
No, they let me on. In fact, because I actually fit in the rides.
Touche. I don't know when the last time I was to an amusement park, so I don't know. I can't say if I'm too big to ride the ride.
I started getting into like down a spiral of videos of this guy that was overweight, like reviewing rides at different parks, like going to Six Flags, going to even Lagoon, going to Disney, and like testing out stuff. And he's like, "Nope, can't fit on that ride." And he's like, "I'm going to Tron." And they brought out like a special like car for him to sit in for Tron. Like he doesn't get to ride on a motorcycle. He's on like the sidecar of a motorcycle.
Oh, no. I will say this. I am going to get a complete medical like thing on Thursday at the doctor's to see if I can get on, you know, one of the weight loss shots.
So you're gonna get a finger in the butt.
What? What'd you say?
Huh? Huh?
Yeah, you're gonna get inspected, is what I said.
Yeah, I'm gonna get inspected.
I don't. Hold on, Danny. I don't know what type of physicals you go to. Mine don't normally include a finger in the old.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that.
Shoot.
No, come on, man.
Now you are getting to the age, Kyle, where you should start to think about getting.
I'm telling you, dude. Yes, you are there, sir. You are there. If you're gonna get inspected, they might stick some stuff down here. Who knows,
Don't
man?
tell me what to do, devil woman. You called this shit poop.
You called it poop.
Yes, sir.
Great movie.
Oh.
Great movie. Billy Madison. My wife said she's never seen it. She doesn't. Yeah. Good times.
Interesting.
Oh, so Super Bowl next week. I mean, we'll talk about it on episode next week too. But
Pro Bowl today, by the way, garbage. Let's just throw that out there. Do you realize the Pro Bowl game was today?
Thing, right?
What?
It's still the flag football thing, right?
Oh,
They don't.
yeah. No, there's yeah.
That
They
was
don't go to Hawaii anymore either.
No, it looked like, honestly, if you go watch it, it looked like they were playing on a practice field underneath the bleachers in Levi's Stadium.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's seriously, it's like a 40, 50-yard field, maybe. Dude, it was bad. Like, really, really bad. Like, and Yaki was like, he was
bad when Shadur Sanders gets invited to it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
The quarterbacks for the AFC was like Shadur Sanders, Joe Flacco, and Joe Burrow.
Oh my gosh!
Right, like
Joe Burrow on the same gosh dang team.
It was, yeah. So all three quarterbacks from the Browns and the Bengals, because Flacco started at the Browns and went to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, it was bad. But here's the thing. So now we have the fastest growing sport in America, which is flag football.
Yeah.
And it's an Olympic sport. So now you've got all these intramural kids that could never play football and track kids that have been playing flag football for all these years that have built a sport. It's going to be an international sport already, but going to be an Olympic sport. So we're going to have a dream team flag football team. if not this Olympics, the next, dude. I'm calling it, dude. Like, seriously,
we're not calling it a dream team, okay?
You know what I'm saying. They're going from from the college type kids, probably the first year, maybe the next Olympics. But eventually the NFL dudes are going to be like, get out of here, dude. I got this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No more CTE.
Yeah, no more CTE. Well, they're still going to get the CTE, but they're going to go win a gold medal and then go back to get more CTE.
Nice. Hey, Johnny, you were at the Mammoth game last night. Was that the game where they had the fight? There was a fight that happened last night, wasn't there?
There's various fights. It wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't that great of a fight.
It was still a fight. Like, I love how this is my favorite, though. It's not like they just start randomly. Like, it's like once the puck is dropped, then the fight starts and everybody kind of clears out.
They didn't do that, though. Like, there wasn't like a, hey, they dropped the puck and everybody paused. No, this was like after a play late in the game. Like I forgot the guy's first name, last name Kane on the Canucks, just chippy all game. Like, he's a very physical player in general, but just a pest. And he ended up on a face-off, tripped up one of our wings, and the face-off was like kind of called. But like sometimes the ref that's dropping the puck will like point out and like change out, the guy taking the face-off. Well, basically that happened, and on that, it was kind of like a false start. Well, Kane tripped one of our wings, and that guy gets back up, and he's like, "Are you guys not calling a trip there? Because it was blatantly obvious." And they didn't call anything, so he takes his stick and cross-checks the guy, and they get a little scrum going. Well, we end up getting a penalty, and our guy gets thrown in the box. So I don't know, 3-4 minutes later in the game, one of our enforcers goes out there and, basically goes to start a fight. And the camera's like, you try to look for the clip and it's like, it's way too late into the fight. You don't get to see how it actually started. You just see them like grab each other. Well, we end up getting called for a roughing penalty and a 10-minute misconduct. So basically an ejection from the game. Their guy, even though he was throwing punches, doesn't get a roughing penalty. He only gets a 10-minute misconduct, so he gets ejected. But then we also have to sit a guy in the penalty box for it. It was last night. I will say this: go onto Twitter and look for the ref you suck chant from last night. It is the loudest I think I've ever heard the Delta Center chant in unison.
Did your boys win?
Oh yeah, we won like 6-2, and I will say this. So we went to the game last night to celebrate EJ's birthday because it was Sunday, but the closest game was last night. And pre-game, we ended up buying a couple extra tickets, and so there's 4 of us there. Well, Blythe and I, we went and sat down by the glass during warm-ups, and we ended up getting 2 pucks. One from Nick Schmaltz, who's my older boy's favorite player, and then one from the captain, Clayton Keller, who's my younger son's favorite player. So it was already awesome. Game gets going, and Nick Schmaltz comes out and scores our first 2 goals. And later in the game, like this was in like the first 6 minutes, 7 minutes of the game. So I'm like, crap. And maybe this should have been a better, longer segment and stuff. But I'm like, if there's a hat trick, I've got a really nice hat on. I don't want to throw out onto the ice. So at intermission, I ran to the store and bought like whatever cheap hat they had, came back, and I wore it the rest of the game. And anytime he was on the ice, he was just like, he was in the right spot. He had a lot of great looks. Later on in the third period, he finally nets that third goal, and we get to throw the hat out there. So for my older boy, I hope he remembers this. Like, he gets to see his first hat trick by his favorite player, who he got a puck from on his birthday. I hope it sticks with him. But we did have to have the conversation after the game, because like he and my wife, they sat in 2 seats. They sat Toyota Club. And then my other son and I, we sat in our other seats. So we were separated. But my older boy didn't want to take a picture, didn't want to do anything like that to like capture the game and the moment with my wife. So we had to have that chat on the car ride home. I was like, you don't appreciate it now, but when you're older, you're gonna think back. Oh, I remember my first hat trick. I remember seeing it, and I remember throwing my hat out there, and I was really sad that I did, but it was great because it was my player. Blah blah blah. Oh, do you have a video or picture from the game? Nope, because I was an idiot and decided not to take one. It was great. It was a great game.
Yeah, there was another reel that I saw where it was one of the Mammoth players that, like it was as a puck was getting dropped, and then the 2 players were wings, and they threw the gloves down and, skated around each other, and all the other players cleared out so they could go,
it might have,
and
it might have been McBain, I don't know, like a week or 2 ago, and it was against, was it no, it wasn't St. Louis.
I just think that's interesting when that happens a lot of times. Is that's how it starts. Is like it just
yeah, I mean it's not anything that like
everybody can move out of the way. It's not like it's right in game that it just starts going off.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And a lot of the time, and if it's the instance I'm thinking of, it's not scripted, but like people know that like it's gonna happen,
right? Yeah,
because in the one that I'm thinking of, the previous time we had played this team, one of our stars, Logan Cooley, one of their defenders basically went low and like, threw a shoulder into our guy's like knees, and he was almost out. Like, it was a bad hit. And so yeah, puck dropped at the very beginning of the game, and everybody skated off. Like, the coaches didn't know, and the players aren't like vocalizing it, but they knew, okay, this guy needs to kind of face the pipe or face the music or whatever. And he got walloped, and it was great.
There's a difference between scripted and premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not scripting this, but you know what's coming.
Yep. Last night was good. I'll say this because we were talking about the UVU game and how just crushing that was. A week or so ago, we played the Carolina Hurricanes. Sorry, we were up 2 goals, 4-2, with a minute and a half to go, and we had one of those moments. That goes like, we allowed 3 goals in a minute and a half to lose the game, and it goes right up there alongside of that UVU loss and the Seahawks lost in the 2015 Super Bowl to the Patriots. Like, the game was in hand. We had it. Give the ball to Marshawn. So just sports, man. It can be the greatest thing, taking your kids to a game and having those memories, but it can also rip your heart out. So it's great.
Highest highs and lowest lows.
True. Mm-hmm.
We pick them up and we do it all over again, no matter what, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Well, everybody, Thanks for tuning in this episode of the No Sauce Podcast. I'm going to call it a night because I've been down here for almost 2 hours now, 2.5 hours. Wow, that's a long time.
Your wife's probably loving the peace and quiet.
She's sick, so she probably is. She's getting some nice rest right now. So,
yeah, I don't know if you guys could hear like the nonstop coughing all around us. So I apologize if it's in there.
Do we have score predictions? Let's sign off with some score predictions. We got the Super Bowl coming
next
up.
week. We can put the score predictions in next week's episode before the game.
Dude, the game's Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, the game is Sunday.
We're meeting before then.
Wow, my bad, everybody. My bad. It's
man,
late.
Man, Kyle sports, huh?
Leave me alone.
You know who's playing? Hey, Kyle.
I don't even know if I'm gonna watch much of it. I'm gonna be one of those people that boycotts it because of the stupid halftime show. So
yeah,
I'm gonna watch the other halftime show, and I'm also gonna be on the way back from Ely, Nevada, coaching my grandchildren in wrestling. So I'm gonna show up about game time. So
nice.
2.5 hours away. We're gonna wrestle from 9 a.m. to hopefully noon 30, and then get back here by
noon 30. I like that. Noon 30. That's a good one. I like that.
Yes,
noon 30.
Absolutely. So what's our score predictions? John's already on the keyboard.
Oh yeah,
he's looking at spread.
I think it's still, is it 6.5 or 4? No, 4.5 points. I think is
I have no idea.
Yeah, in all honesty, they don't have the Bill Belichick. I'm not that worried about the Patriots. I think we got a high performing offense. I'm gonna say 32-17.
It's a weird, funky score for a football game.
Sea chickens, right? Yeah, that's what you're taking. All right, Kyle.
Sea chickens. Yep.
Zach Charbonnet's out. Right?
You got Kenneth Walker running the ball.
You do. I'm going to take the Patriots.
You would.
28-24. Yep.
Yeah, man. I'm an NFC guy, dude. You know, NFC guy. Seattle played us tough. I'm not a Seattle hater. I wanted Seattle to win the NFC Championship game. Less hatred for the Rams. But I can't have Seattle go into Levi Stadium and win a Super Bowl. So I'm gonna have to ride with Mike Vrabel and the Pats, man. I really like Mike Vrabel. I really do. Mike Vrabel, I liked him at Tennessee. I mean, I think he's caught the most touchdown passes as a defender in NFL history. I like what he does. Rookie coach, Drake May. I like what he does. Yeah, I'm going to say 27-24 Patriots.
And there you have it, folks. Our Super Bowl picks. John's going to hate us.
But I'm going to be gloat next week.
He's going to brag about it next Tuesday when we record, when the Seahawks do win, if they do win. So we'll see what happens, who gets the bragging rights next Tuesday. But
it'll be great.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode of No Sauce Podcast. Appreciate the support. And enjoy the Super Bowl and enjoy the rest of your week.